Okay, let's play a little around Flexbox axis and its orientations. Flexbox is a single direction layout concept, which means that flex items will always lay out horizontally, defining rows, or vertically, defining columns, but never both at the same time. As I've said before, flex direction defines the direction of the main axis, and it can assume four different values. Row, that is the default value for flex direction, row reverse, column, and column reverse. These four values will define whether your items will lay out horizontally or vertically, and in which direction will they be positioned. As we can see in this image, the value row defines that flex items will lay out horizontally and from the left to the right, and row reverse indicates that flex items are placed from the right to the left. The same happens for column and column reverse, but this time with a vertical line. Column defines that items will align vertically from the top to the bottom, and column reverse means that items will lay out from the bottom to the top. Let's get back to our axis guide and have a visualization of this axis direction. This image displays the default behavior. Items start being laid out from the main start point and the cross start point until the main endpoint and the cross endpoint. But now imagine the case of row reverse. With row reverse, the main start point will be placed on the right side, and the main endpoint will be positioned on the left side. They assume reversed positions. This means that your items now will start laying out from the right to the left. Let's see it in action. In this example here, I have a container that has two items. So we have our basic HTML structure to start flexing our layout. Now I want to play with the flex direction. To do that, I have to define the display flex property. Remember that you only start flexing out your layouts once you get this rule in your CSS. Now I have display flex and our items are horizontally laid out. And if I define flex direction row like this, nothing happens because row is the default value for flex direction once you start flexing out your layouts. That's why we have our items being laid out horizontally from the left to the right. Remember that now we have our main start point here and our cross start point right here. If I define row reverse, now our items are being laid out from the right to the left. Now our first item is on the right side and it is followed by the second item and so on. I can add some additional items just for example. Okay, now what happens if I define flex direction column? Now our items are being positioned from the top to the bottom. Now our main axis is vertically aligned and its main start point is up here, and the cross axis is horizontally aligned and its start point is positioned here on the left side. Remember that these two axes are always perpendicular, and once you change the direction of the main axis, you are also changing the direction of the cross axis too. If I define column reverse for flex direction, now I have the items being vertically aligned but in a reverse order. Now they start being laid out from the bottom to the top. If I define a fixed height for our parent of 300 pixels for instance, we can see more clearly that our items are being positioned from the bottom to the top. If I remove the reverse and stay with the column, we see that now our items are positioned from the top to the bottom, as we can see here. Honestly, until today, I never had the need of applying any of these reverse options. I don't think it is an usual solution to use in our day-to-day work, but who knows, someday it might happen. All this extensive description about the axes and start and endpoints and orientations sound boring and not really necessary, but trust me, it is. It affects the way you define the Flexbox properties and how you should manipulate your item's positioning. Once you get comfortable about this, the rest of the course will be a piece of cake. Let's move on.